So I'm sure that many of you have heard that the past couple weeks, the fan game Jurassic Park Operations was canned by Universal, which is incredibly unfortunate because if you don't know about it, Jurassic Park Operations was going to be a survival horror game, of course, basically taking place within the Jurassic universe. And if you haven't seen the trailers, then, check them out, but approach with haste because know that this is probably not coming. It looked like a really good game. It had a lot of elements that we loved from Jurassic Park, and I believe some elements that were brought in from the novel, and it would have been an awesome Jurassic Park game in general. But that whole situation kind of got me thinking, why don't we have Jurassic Park games like that, or Jurassic World games, at least any modern Jurassic games that are around that genre, essentially? Because the Jurassic franchise is huge. It has made billions of dollars in the box office with its new movies. Many folks are really excited whenever anything new is coming out, whether it be TV shows or short films or whatever the case may be. Why hasn't it really taken the full jump into the video game medium? Because the last few years, the biggest focus when it comes to video games has been, of course, Evolution 1 and Evolution 2, which are both incredible games. I love Park Builders with a passion. But they're limited. They're limited with what you can do. I mean, the second one, and I think the first one did, I can't remember, it's been a long time, but the second one at least had the first person mode in which you can walk around and kind of get up close with your dinosaurs, act like you're a guest. But that is also limited because the dinosaurs don't interact with you, there's no fear placed upon you, and so it's kind of limited with what you can do. But what myself and many folks are itching for is a proper Jurassic survival game. And I'd say that we are in the perfect spot for something like that. The state of the franchise right now is that we have Dominion as our latest piece of canon. Dominion ended with all of the dinosaurs still all across the world, basically interacting with humans. This whole idea of coexisting with dinosaurs is in the air. So there's a lot you can do that, whether it be with short films, TV shows, or video games. And I think that a video game is the perfect way to expand into this idea because it'll give the player the opportunity to firsthand experience what's going on rather than being an outside observer watching everything unfold. And this links in with my next thing, the canon implications that these video games should have. So one of the most frustrating things about the Evolution games to me is the fact that they are not canon. They have story elements, they have DLC that comes in and brings in your own little bit of story, but it's kind of like an alternate universe type thing. I mean, of course, there was the chaos theory, which is basically what if scenario for each movie, but then you have the actual campaign story that you can go through, and that's not canon either. A lot of the things that happen don't line up with anything that happens within the actual franchise, which is a little bit frustrating to me because you kind of dedicate a lot of time into that, but then what you're actually doing or contributing to doesn't even have an effect on the overall story. I'm going to use Star Wars as an example. Everything, practically almost everything that they release links into the overall story. So when you're playing something like Jedi Fallen Order, that is technically something that would happen in the story, and you are getting the confirmation for this when the little droid that is your companion in the game, BD-1, has a similar model that shows up in the Book of Boba Fett, a live-action show. So I mean, of course, it's not the same droid, but it's a type of droid that was created for the game that now made the jump from the video game to live action. And so you just have the feeling that what you're playing actually matters for the overall story, and it just feels better in general. And so a video game, particularly a survival horror game, I would say, because that's just perfect for the franchise. The movies are borderline thriller anyway, but a survival horror game that is actually canon to the story sounds perfect to me. Say maybe you're with the military and you're trying to stop, I don't know, maybe some Carnotauruses that are terrorizing a local neighborhood or a city or something because they're lost and confused dinosaurs, and you have to kind of focus on it yourself. And each mission is maybe like rounding up a new dinosaur, or maybe you're just a random civilian and you're simply trying to survive. There's a lot of potential for video games in this franchise that really haven't been tapped into. As far as I know, the closest that we've gotten as far as official video games go is Jurassic Park Trespasser, which of course I believe was a rushed video game and is pretty rough around the edges in general. Something with that is updated and actually works properly, moves well, and is canon to the story would be incredibly fun, I think. Or if you even want to go back to the original Jurassic Park and maybe tell the story of just Matt the electrician, right, who is unfortunately trapped on the island when everybody else left, and you're just trying to survive in order to like wait for rescue boats or something like that. Just something along those lines that just sounds incredibly fun, but has not been used yet. Because it's really no secret that Jurassic video games have just been lackluster. Again, the biggest focus have been the park builders with Evolution 1 and 2. And then if you look at the apps, we have another park builder, which is Jurassic World the game, and Jurassic World Alive, which is that Pokemon Go inspired type game, which they're fun in their own right, but they're also filled with microtransactions, and you know, they're just really something that I use to kind of pass the time when I'm in a waiting room or something like that. This franchise has a lot of potential to expand. It's like I said, it's a big franchise. It can go the route of more TV shows, it can go the route of spin-off movies, it can go the route of video games in general, and I just, in order to keep itself within the limelight, I think that it really needs to go these directions and kind of give more of what the fans want. Again, operations would have been the perfect place for this. I've heard rumors that the reason why Universal had canned it or asked them to cease the production is because they were working on a similar game. I have no idea if that's true. If it is true, that would be incredible. It's something that is sorely needed in the franchise. It's something that we've always wanted for years. Again, but though, take it with a grain of salt. I don't know if that's true. It's just a little bit of talk going around the community. But do you guys have any ideas for expansion? Do you want more books? Do you want more comics? Do you want video games? Do you want shows, movies, whatever it may be? And like, what do you want from this franchise? Be sure to let me know.